coming back to John on checking pregnant ladies. I thought that it's like it's kind of tricky to fuck someone who is already impregnated because like it's playing against nature. And so I was pregnant and I grew some boobs. If you look at me, I don't have anything that much here, but I have here. I sit on the assets. So I was really surprised when I was 6 months pregnant and I'm working in a bar and this guy is trying to flirt with me. I was like, really? You didn't notice that I'm pregnant? 6 months pregnant? And I talked later with my present husband that, you know, this guy tried to check on me and I'm like 6 months pregnant, I have such a belly. It's like, don't worry about it. I've been there too. I tried to pick up on this girl and she's like, hey, I'm already pregnant. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't notice, I was just looking at your boobs. So, yeah, that. And I don't have boobs, but I have like cheek here. And I And my sister that I really appreciate that she's with me here today. She's like, oh, this is typical Anya, like really reciting. First she eats the chocolate and she was writing on the back side of it. It's like, I really don't believe in writing because writing is not my thing. Talking and writing blockage is totally my thing. So I wrote it that talking points and I'm like, what the fuck is a B and A? And it's like, oh yeah, that's bitch and asshole. So we will come back to that later on. I'm one of these annoying people who like don't dare to swear themselves, but they will make you swear in your mind. It's like, you're such a fucking asshole. And I really like the word asshole because you know it's really inclusive. It includes all the women, all the men, and all hermaphrodites. And you know, I think hermaphrodites are 1 in 1,000, but I think it's really nice that we're including them on the 8th of March. It's a Women's Day, but we will have, I guess, at least in Oslo, I am not so sure about Stavanger, we have these posters that make a third gender hermaphrodite, or I'm not sure. I'm not so sure if I'm a man or a woman. I'll make an extra extra group. And you know, I think it would be a progress. It's really good, but then it's tricky if you move to a different country, so you're a third group, and suddenly you have to decide group number 1, group number 2, and it's like, no, I'm group number 3. No, we don't have group number 3, we have 1 and 2, and it's like, fuck. Can I have 1 plus 2? That means 3? No. So, shit. Mathematics sense. And again, I get frustrated because some people are scared to stand here because they're scared of talking in front of people. I'm not scared to talk in front of you. That's fine. I'm scared to talk with you. And other thing, I'm scared to talk in front of you with my family around, and this time I'm supported with my lovely sister, thank you Sylvia for being here with me. Awesome. Actually, the plan was that I'm supposed to ask you, does any of you meditate or enjoys meditation?
Yes!
Awesome! Yeah! Lovely. How do you do it?
How I do it?
Yeah?
I just do it.
Awesome! Yes, this is a great thing. It's almost like sexual education, you know?
Yes.
People tell you how you can get pregnant, how you can STD, but they don't tell you how to do it. So you go to the porn to learn how to do it. And that's kind of shitty because porn, it's a little bit complicated. I will go to that if I remember about doing that, but never mind. When I don't know how to do something, I go to YouTube. I learn how to fix my washing machine when the pump is jammed. And YouTube is awesome. I also learned how to do the stand-up comedy. There was a guy who was saying like, you have to know why you're doing it. And I feel kind of guilty that Dave wants to quit because I shared that wisdom with him and it's like, man, I don't know why I'm doing it. It's like, oh no, I fucked it up for him and it's so great. So sorry guys, I really love you, I'm inside. Yeah, you know, I think it's great if you're just doing something for fun, and it's true that money is ruining it. Like, if you're just playing with something, it's fun. Once the money gets involved, it's like, fuck.
Totally.
We're not going to pay you today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I also trust more people who do something just for doing it, not for money. But I'm kind of tricking you. I have this channel on YouTube, and I thought like, I'll try to fix the word for the comedy, and I will call it Comedy for Change. And then I checked if it's taken, and sure, yeah, it's taken. It's taken by people with mental disabilities, and they're not funny. So there's good news. They're funny, bad news that it's taken, and third, like, you're probably one of them. And the best news joke that I heard from them is like, you know, I have to be really sick if with all the abilities in the illegal market, I'll go to the doctor and I'll say, I want to go just for some medicine that don't get me high, just give me some sexual disabilities and mellow and thirsty. I'm like, oh, this guy is awesome, so maybe it's not so bad. So my channel is called Change Comedy for Coin, since Comedy for Change was taken, so yeah. I also heard that we are used to live in this social bubble, that we choose the friends that have similar opinions that we have, that we choose to believe the arguments that only support our ideas. I'm like, no, if that's true, then I'll never learn if I'm wrong. I have to listen to the people that I think that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And it might be sometimes challenging, like I'm married with an American, and through that I met some people that really believe in creationism. Like I talk with them like, you know, on National Geographic they actually said that we're related to just these two people. And I'm like, oh no, you're talking about Adam and Eve, and I don't really want to offend you, but I don't believe you. And I'm active kind of a member of Human Ethical Association. Like I'm organized atheist. So organized atheists don't like to be called the Church of Atheism, but some people like to say like, oh, so you believe in not believing, and they're like, no. It's just like if you were said that it's a sport not to stand on a skateboard. And like, yeah, tricky. That's kind of I don't know, it's kind of limiting because it makes me feel that I shouldn't flirt with some funky, weird stuff. And whenever something is forbidden, it's so much cooler. And I really like to flirt with those old new age stuff. And like, yeah, meditation and yoga. And I have this horrible, horrible bed. Whenever I wake up in the morning, I feel like 50 years old. Oh, my body's stiff. It's so painful to wake up.
Yeah.
So I turned to yoga. And then I also got to experience meditation. Some people told me like, oh, you should try this Osho meditation. Like, what is Osho? But they sent me a link on the YouTube. And first they're dancing, then they're shaking, then they're like they have epilepsy and they get aggressive. No, that's not my thing. In Polish, I think it would be called like oszołom, which means a crazy person. And I know I might be, but I don't really want to accept it. So no, that's not me. But I really love to listen to Alan Watts. So he had this lovely guided meditation. So he suggested like, you know, first you should just try to not think. And it's like, oh, that's really so tricky. Sometimes I even try to trick myself into remembering something, but telling myself, forget it. And it's like, if you try to forget something, of course you have your mind fixed on it. Like, oh, that person is like, from Bridget Jones, that thing. It's perverse. Like, she was so fixated on it. Oh, Mr. Tits pervert. Oh yeah, fixed pervert or something like that. So I try to trick myself that way. So when you're trying not to think, then you're fixated on thinking about not thinking. So this is really long excuse to say something really, really mean. I try to be all nice and positive, but I saw recently two pictures, or one picture and one movie on Facebook that make me think really mean stuff. And I was just about to put it there on, but I was like, no, I'll let it go, but I will share it with you today. So first is picture of this really moved 97-year-old lady who decided to baptize. And it was on the wall of really religious friend of mine, like, hell yeah, Granny played it well, she had all this fun, she doesn't have to go to the confession, and she had all her sins washed. Awesome. And I'm like, this friend of mine, he's really religious. No, I'll not go there. And the second thing, probably that one you saw, it's Norwegian clip about this awesome 3-year-old who finds his daddy lying on the floor, probably with a heart attack, and he puts him in a perfect side position, and he rings from an ambulance like, oh yeah, this is probably the first or the second reason why they invented Viagra. And I tested on some friends, and one was like, I don't get it. I'm like, you know, it's not only that the 90-year-olds can have boners, but they also can have sons or daughters that can save them, and they continue having the game on. It's like, oh, yeah. And then maybe grandma didn't play it all that well in the end because she could still have the game on. I don't know. So yeah, that horrible with having cheat list, because then you look at it and you think like, oh, what I would then. So yeah, I heard that there's this thing with social bubble. I don't know if I told you this already or not. It was a long evening, I had some drinks. So yeah, we tend to choose the people that have similar ideas that we have, that we listen just to the stuff that prove our ideas. But for like, if so, I'll never learn if I'm wrong. So I decided like, I will listen to the people that I think they talk shit. Like even people that they believe in creationism, people who deny global warming, because maybe I'm wrong. And I'm listening to them, and I listen to them, and it's nice if I actually learn to be patient, and I try all these debate techniques. Like, you cannot learn a man anything. You can only help them to find it in themselves. Like, I spoke with my absolutely lovely mother-in-law about it, that I felt uncomfortable in America saying grace before the dinner. Like, okay, I cooked it, I spent like over an hour in the kitchen, but you're praying to the God that I don't believe in, or Jesus, and maybe it was actually a Jesus in Mexico that grew the crops. Ask her. So, how about if you go and visit your friends and they were Hare Krishnas and they were praying to the other God, would you be comfortable with praying with them? Yeah, I guess so. But how about if your friends were Satanists and they were praying to Satan? Would you like to pray with them? Like, no, I guess not. So suddenly her argument's like, oh, you had to grow that thick skin. Wasn't so good. That. And, what? Satan loves, yeah. I guess even Rolling Stones, they had this song, Sympathy for Satan, something like that. No, Sympathy for the Devil.
Lucifer, fallen angel.
Lucifer. Awesome, yeah. And, yeah. That thing there. I knew that this writing would destroy it. So yeah, yoga and meditation. So, like, at first I felt like I don't believe in that, but you know, being organized, atheist, I feel like, well, I cannot really discard something if I haven't tried it. So because of that bad, I started practicing some yoga, and I noticed that it's better for my back. I'm more chilled out, and there's some meditation. Osho didn't really work for me. I searched some more stuff on YouTube. There was this really cool thing about chakras and banana onion juice that was like kind of on the edge for me, because that smoothie. That was the worst smoothie ever. But it's kind of nice when you recognize what you're anxious about. And I think more people should try it. Like, the people who put the legislation that, oh, this is illegal, this is legal. Yeah, try it first.
Yeah.
And then make your opinion about it. Like, if you actually check on Google, and I really encourage you to check that, the access between how drugs are damaging to the health and how addicting they are, tobacco and alcohol, they're not the lowest on the scale. They're probably the most boring, but they're the only legal ones. Cut is lower. Marijuana is lower, but they're not legal because big companies, they cannot earn a lot of money on that. So I think it's quite tricky. Also, Steve Hughes said a really good argument. How about the mushrooms that can kill you? They're totally legal. How about mushrooms that they might make you have fun? Totally illegal. That's about.
Wait. He told you why. Because there's power in that plant. There's
Yeah.
power in that
It's
plant.
real
There
power
is
in the
plant. Because there's power in the plant.
It's like God.
Power to the plant!
Steve Hughes. Steve Hughes.
He's awesome. And Dave Pickett, he made the warm-up, and I'm really pleased to be here around Dave Pickett. It's such an honor. So, yeah, and it's weird. Other than that, the meanest, I think there is quite a big concern now is political correctness and education enough to fight the racism. Like, Slavoj Žižek came up with this idea that they're actually losing in the fight against racism. Like, it might be good with some old-fashioned racism. Like, if you hear that I'm Polish, you think automatically, oh, you're a strawberry picker, or a cleaning woman, or a carpenter. And I was quite surprised to come to Norway and hear that strawberry pickers actually exist. Because down there in the east, we heard so many scary stories, maybe they just try to keep us there in the east, about all those nice work positions as a nanny or a strawberry picker, and you end up in a red light district, and there's this guy going around with pizza, and it's like, I prefer pizza. Yeah. And then I had, since I don't believe in writing, this really shortcuts of talking points, B and A, and I'm like, what the fuck is in B and A? And it's like, oh, bitch and asshole. I had recently a problem at work because my workmate called me twice a bitch. And I'm like, how he could call me that? Like, once we were just talking about landscaping, and suddenly he calls me a bitch. Like, I forget everything. It's like, you call me a bitch? You're such a nice person. How can you? And everybody likes to think about themselves, that they're a nice person. Like, Capone, he thought he's bringing fun and liquor to the people. Some kind of killer that is mentioned in Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. He also thought he's the nicest person in the world. Hitler, he thought he's making some kind of favor to the people. Stalin, he also thought he's doing good things. Everybody likes to think about themselves like a nice person, so that was a really shocker for me. Then another time, I forgot that I promised that colleague of mine to help him out. And I apologized him on Facebook, and I met him in a bar. I apologized, and he's like, no worry, no problem, just forget about it, bitch. I'm like, really, Dad? How he can call me like this? And, I can understand that he wasn't in a happy place, or that he was a little bit drunk, and he was in a happy place, and he was joking around, and maybe he wants to move from this space of being a colleague, respectful to this, like, throwing dicks and assholes on each other. But I don't really want to move there. I want to respect him and like him, so I'm not like with it. Like, I thought about it angrily for 3 days, like, how I'm going to deal with it. If I'm going to ignore it. But he called me already twice and I asked him not to. And we're coming to this 3 times luck, how to do it. Maybe I should do it Norwegian way, go to my leader and complain. But I'm from Poland and we don't snitch and it's dirty. There is communists in Poland and we're really negative about snitching, so we just don't do that. We just solve it on our own. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to snitch. I'm going to deal with it. Maybe I should write to him. No, this is lame. I'm like on Facebook and I see this really beautiful quote of Buddha and I think, this is it. This is totally it. I will share it on my wall on Facebook. Here, beep. If you call me bitch another time, for the 3rd time, I will have you. And I will share with you this wisdom of Buddha. Try to not be a cunt. And I thought, this is perfect. Stavanger is so small that he'll be like cut blood for the life. And maybe that celibacy will make him grow personally. I was like, no, don't fool yourself. This is just your ego talking. So what? I should just let it go? I let it go for 1 time and it happened again. And you know, if you call me or a woman in general bitch for 3 times, we feel obligated, like we have to deliver. And the problem is that this contemporary philosopher called Homer Simpson, he said that woman is like nuclear reactor, has a lot of buttons and it's really fun to push all of them. So you don't know, should you let it go or should you react on it? But I feel like, no, I'll try the lame stuff, I'll write to him, then I have evidence. And I felt like, okay, maybe this with calling him a cunt is not really that nice. First, because it's my ego speaking. I could let it go, but I'm not really making a favor for other women who would be called a bitch. And I remember also these funky friends of mine that I really like, that I thought it's weird that they learn their small kids, like, mommy has a vagina, daddy has a dick, and Minnie is a bitch. Where Minnie was actually a dog, and I'm like, do you really want to learn the little kid that? But you know, maybe if you learn little kids that, they wouldn't get so influenced that all the songs on the radio, where every 3rd song is calling a woman a bitch. So I'm like, okay, I have to do something with it. So I felt like, okay, I'll not send him that message about the account, I'll not post it on my wall. But I found another one, and I found that this is nice, but it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, is it the right one? How local, you're saying, don't let the scars make you become someone that you're not. I'm like, okay, I guess I can go for it. It's a short one. I send it and I see that message again, because sometimes pictures that they don't show all when you're thinking, contemplating it too long. That is like word porn. Oh, this is not really politically correct. Like, not good. But he came with a nice long apologies about this is right, and he was like kind of educating me about English language. He's like, hey, I'm using English at home. My husband is American. He never calls me a bitch. If my husband called me a bitch, he wouldn't be my husband. So don't tell me that shit. And I heard that also when you meet people from different cultures, you can use this, that was my aunt advice. You can use this formula like, alright, like this, you can talk to your mommy or your sister, but not to me, which would make him son of a bitch. And I feel like, this is asking for more trouble. But Muslims are kind of more like creative and reasonable about it. Like, they think that dogs are unclean animals, so they avoid the dog to be something associated with dog is bad. And they also have a thing like not the son of a bitch, but also son of a donkey. And I thought, oh, this is nice, inclusive, includes everyone. And I also thought it's so unnice to the dogs, you know, human's best friend, and the worst thing that you can say about women is like bitch, cunt, and I don't know, whore or fat and stuff. And then little girls learn really early that if you want to be loved, you have to be fuckable, and they have all those dolls. And you have all those dolls that learn girls that they have to be like super fuckable, like I don't know, Barbie that's supposed to probably carry her kidneys in a bag, or well, if she were a real woman because she would have so much weight in her bosoms. And brats that are such a slutty dolls, like really mini skirts, so much makeup. And there's this woman in Australia or Australia or New Zealand that make them makeover that they look actually like little girls and they're cute and kids actually want to play with them. So it's like, is there some kind of weird network of pedophiles working there and preparing kids to do stuff like I don't know. The word is just weird. So I think that in general we shouldn't call each other for dicks or bitches. We should be all inclusive. Call other people for assholes if necessary.
Yes.
People in not their happy place. And I have to work on like nice big surprise on the end, but I'm not good at that.
The beer drinking Western.
So all that stuff there. I don't know. I like to think that in old times people were all so much more polite to each other, and you know we have all this progress with technology and stuff. We're so much more in a hurry, but we had like so much less of life. And I don't know, is it like people in the old times they were really polite, but they were really sexist? Like if you watch Benny Hill, you're like so surprised, like really? This joke's about rape and other stuff? Like you really could go on with it in the 70s, like today, you couldn't. And they were polite, but still in 1958, I guess in Belgium, they had big exhibition when they have human zoo, where you could see the pygmies and others, people of different races. Like, this is so weird. You don't learn about it in history. Even Vatican had a collection of different races of people, and they thought that they were less meaningful, and it's like weird. So I think it's really good to call people that they're not in their happy place. If you are yourself in a happy place, if you're not and don't feel like it, just calling them assholes, because sometimes people need that way to let the shit go.
Yay!
And thank you for that. That was awesome to stand here in front